Tinubu gains. Hundreds of bandits are killed today, every day. Tinubu gains. You move everywhere in our own country today, free of fear. Tinubu gains. Things are changing. These so-called Lakura or whatever you call them, they are making a mistake. Nobody ever dares Tinubu and win. Nobody.
All right, you're welcome back to Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. This is the second leg of the conversation today. And you heard the NSA, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, addressing, a Congress right there. All right, so it's been several conversations around security, insecurity for several years now, and especially in this administration for 3 years going. Insecurity still remains a deep concerning topic, issue, around this. And just a few days ago, about hundreds of people, and multiples, were abducted and paraded in Kwara State, several killed. A lot of issues around there. We still have up north issues of insecurity, banditry, kidnappings, still raising the community at this time. People having different fears. People are asking who's going to be next, which community is going to be next, and especially as it is moving very much closer to everyone. It's right there in the North Central now. Who knows where else it's going to be? And so that conversation is going, and we have with us public affairs analyst, Mr. Olatubosun, right here in the studios with us. Good morning. All right, so you heard the NSA, several other communities, several countries where they have NSAs who are probably in the rank of a 3-star general. We have this NSA. It was actually an assistant inspector general of police, and he also studied law, actually, and he was also the chief of the anti-graft, EFCC, at one time. He is the NSA now. In that video, you heard, let's begin with the video while we talk and bring it down to him. You heard what he said. Nobody dares Tinubu. He's talking about Tinubu as an individual. And if he had said nobody dares the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that may have resonated well, with the people. But talking that way, with the posture, with this kind of statement, what message does it portray to you as a citizen?
Thank you very much. First of all, I'll say that there is a theory.
Okay.
That when you're trying to win power, and knowing that power is not served a la carte as they have it in restaurants, you have to go for it anyway and anyhow you get it. And when you now get some of those power, you get other political office holders who have attained some heights, then you bring them into yourself. If you're not finding it easy to bring to yourself, go after their criminal records, then go to them. Speak to them to join you. Then if they refuse, parade their past criminal records to them, which are still quite hidden. So they will be persuaded to join you. And that way you build a number. It's a theory. Maybe you and I may understand it differently. That is on one part. Number two side of it is this, that there was this British historian that said, his name is Lord Acton, that said that absolute power corrupts absolutely. Right now, the APC has a very humongous percentage of the leadership of the politicians in Nigeria, which in my view is not healthy. Every time you try to kill opposition, you're trying to not be accountable. That is a problem. Now, for somebody like Nuhu Ribadu, at his age, he's over 60, he's around 65 thereabout. He was once the chairman of EFCC. Then you said he was once a police officer.
Yeah.
Let me remind you that he was dismissed. You understand? Now, he is currently the National Security Advisor. He is now coming on live television to say that nobody ever dares Tinubu and win. That is a very careless statement to make. Because one of the problems we've had over time is Somebody comes into a political office, believes that he's over every other person. When in actual fact, he's supposed to see himself as a servant of every other person. Now, you are now seeing the same man who has actually been in all those spaces. He has become friends with Tinubu over the time they had issues at a point, and they came back together. They are now friends. Like somebody said at that time that they now see themselves, they've been friends for quite some time. So he gets into that space. Instead of him to get things sorted out, he's now saying that nobody ever dares Tinubu and win. It's a very careless statement to say. He's trying to tell us that the president, not even the presidency now, that the president is more powerful than the entirety of the nation.
That mean, when you're saying president, that means Tinubu as a person.
As a person. Okay. That's what he's saying. That he's more powerful than the entire nation. It's a careless statement to me. And for somebody of his nature, the exposure he's had, the fact that he's a law person, the knowledge he should have had around communication and the offices he has held, I think he should have known better. That's my belief on that.
All right. You know, on the Vanguard newspaper, we have this report where Tinubu was, you know, praising Nuhu Ribadu, saying that we will defeat terrorism and that he's a leader who is doing well. Let me just bring it up here on the Vanguard newspaper, where Tinubu speaking, that was in Yola, that was on Monday during the inauguration of projects by the Adamawa State government, commended Ribadu'S efforts and described him as a source of pride for both Adamawa and the nation. Considering the issues of insecurity in the country, we still have that of Kwara there. We have Wuro community, about over 100 people abducted, and till now, they've not returned. For how long shall we continue in this? And now the presidency is praising Ribadu. You know, the first video we brought out there, Ribadu was saying nobody dares face Tinubu. And now here in this report, the president also is hailing him, saying, you're doing well. Under you, we will defeat terrorism. For how long shall we continue anticipating for this, in your own opinion?
First of all, for the president to actually say that that he's doing well and they're going to defeat terrorism under him and all that, I don't believe him.
And why?
I don't. Now, you will recall that Donald Trump, the president of America, referred to Nigeria as a country of particular concern.
Yeah.
Now, that phrase came from the fact that we've had issues around religious violence and what again? Security issues. The same security issues that the president is now hailing Nuhu Ribadu for, that he's doing well. Look at the number of killings that we've had in the past few weeks. We are not talking years now. The president has not even spoken about them. He didn't visit the communities. In Canada, how many people were killed? 9. Every life, 9. Every life is actually sacrosanct. There is a way we should carry it. We should have a value for it. But we are losing them in 100. And our president does not even seem to care. Then he's not praising somebody who is supposed to be handling something in that area of security, who hasn't done anything that we as the people living in the country can actually say we have seen anything positive. You understand? And he's now hailing him. I think the presidency is making us lose more trust in him. It's making us lose more essence in the belief in the system that we have in Nigeria. You know, it's not exactly easy for people who have experienced the loss of a loved one directly. You understand? I've been opportune to have, let me say, privileged to have people who lost their beloved directly. And I saw some of those videos some time ago. It holds my neck, and I'm like, this pain is hard. So for some of us who may not know the reality of these things practically, you may not be able to actually say that, it's not, I think they were hoping. We are hoping that it will get better. But somebody who has actually lost 1 or 2, they see it differently. They feel it differently. They know it differently. So they would not even see this act, these sentences from Nuhu Ribadu and the president as something that should ever even happen. We are grateful now that America is actually coming into play. Some people are actually hoping that we can have Benjamin Netanyahu to come in. You understand? But there is a reality. There was this Iman guy that was a problem some years ago. America and Israel chased him around for 25 years. The guy kept missing. It was not understandable. At a point, America had to agree that we cannot beat this guy alone. Israel had to agree that they couldn't beat him alone. What did they do? They came together. One has an expertise and a depth of capacity when it comes to technology. The other has some extremely capable men. So the two countries came together and they won that guy. Now, we are grateful that even America is actually coming to a place we have their troops already on ground. One of the things we should look out for now, beyond looking within, which is what we normally say, let these people. Do you want to tell me that America's intel, Israel's intel does not know where those things are, where those people are, where their works are going?
Well, but the statement says that the US troops are not here for physical combat, just to train Nigerian troops. How do you see to that? Now, there is diplomacy. You cannot expect me to tell. In fact, the people who caught this particular Iman guy I'm talking about, we don't know them till tomorrow. The Iman guy himself, we don't know what he looked like. They have been able to take all those things off the grid. And the idea is that you cannot expect me to give you all of the... When America was going to pick up Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela, the president of Venezuela, the people that went to do, those 40 guys that went and the 12 that actually breached the palace, we don't know them. You understand? There are some information that you would know. In fact, the ship that the Iwo Jima that they put very close, about 17 miles to Venezuela, it was there on a particular idea that it's going to be there to just perform some military actions, let people feel the strength they had. But it had something else it was doing. It's called diplomacy. We can't tell you everything. So you cannot expect America to be slow enough to now tell us this is what we came to do. But you know, they gave us Christmas gift. Then they gave us New Year gift. So we should expect more. But I'm sorry as a person, I do not expect much from Nuhu Ribadu. And even the president himself and the presidency as a whole, based on whatever is that we've had in the past about 2 years that we've been in charge, we've not been able to achieve anything from them as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not really expecting much from them either, except we use the concept of our sovereignty when it comes to relationship with other countries and their capacities.
Well, several Nigerians are talking about the fact that ever since the intervention, by the United States and the United States President Donald Trump, insecurity has been on the rise. I mean, there were reprisal attacks immediately after the bombing on Christmas Day, several other reprisal attacks, kidnappings, and all of it. Do you have fears that probably this is not the intervention that we need, or the intervention is being sabotaged? Something is wrong somewhere, and this is not, going to yield anything better.
Thank you very much for that question. I'll tell you like this. First of all, America has frozen herself about 8 Nigerians over alleged ties to terrorism organizations, the Levant and the rest of them like that. That is a step. They dropped a 3,000-page document. So it's not like it's hearsay. We have details of all those things, number one. Number two, in 2012, Libyan Benghazi ran into a lot of problems, when they still had all this. It got so bad that they were selling RPGs on the street in Libya. Then Ambassador Chris Stevens was moving from America to them. And because it was 9/11, those guys wanted to celebrate it. And one of their ways of celebrating is to make sure that they killed more people. And when they did that, America sent 6 guys. They called them DRS operatives to take care of those people. Those 6 guys made sure that they dropped in hundreds. Do you understand? Now, it is generally understood that virtually all the embassies in Libya and Benghazi shut down at the time. But those 6 guys and the 2 Delta guys that joined them and a few other people that joined them made sure that place was made a lot of more sense after they did their work. But it took some time. It took a lot of intelligence. It took a lot of work. But it was not like it was unnecessarily extended. I would also say that sometimes it doesn't work out, like they had in Afghanistan. You understand? America had a 20-year campaign in Afghanistan around terrorism. In fact, they had to draw some people out eventually. A lot of people moved from Afghanistan to America on diplomatic visas and all of different kind of packages. When America left, I think August 2021, I can remember right now. After America left, in just 30 days, the Islamic terrorists took over control again, totally. So sometimes it doesn't work. However, wasting out a sport, trying out the same things that we have tried over the years that has not worked is not very smart. Coming to now say that these people are coming in to help us is a welcome idea. We should be grateful for it. The other side of it is the fact that every time, like I said about the Benghazi issue, they wanted to celebrate 9/11 because it was a win for them. Now, the Iman guy that was taken out in Syria at the time, those guys still want to celebrate him. They try to still have celebrations to make him feel, to just celebrate themselves. Okay, this guy actually did well. But there was something about it. That guy was so good that only him was able to run multiple programs at the same time. And it was always, he hit France, he hit America, he hit Israel. Those are some of the hardest people to hit. But he was sitting and he was killing them in their 10s, 80s. He kept killing like that. He had that kind of capacity. So the idea is that when he was taken out, the Islamic groups decided that they were going to have reprisal attacks. But as they did their calculations, their best hand had gone. So it was hard for them to actually hit again. So the more they had to try, it was like you want to replace one very capable person, then you're even bringing also, you are doing all sorts of recruitment, and you had like 10, 15, 20 people, and all of them cannot match that one person. It means that whatever attacks you are planning cannot be as good as the one you used to have. So the basic thing is that if we can fish out the strong hands amongst people and take them out, we are going to have better societies. Now, America has been able to actually finger about 8 people now, frozen their assets around this. It's a step, a positive one. So if you're saying that we have this, let's expect the next set of actions that we will see, just being patient, knowing fully well that America will not tell us all of their next moves. It's a game of chess. You understand? We're not going to know everything. But as long as they move and we have responses, we know something good is coming. Not that they say this is going to happen, then something else is happening. But for what we have on ground now, for what we saw Christmas Day, what we have New Year Day, what we have with this frozen assets thing, I think they are moving and they're giving us positive.
Mr. Olatubosun, so all along when you've been speaking, you've been saying America, America, America. But I'm itching to ask, is it that the Nigerian government is not emphatic enough, or we don't have that heart of sympathy with all those killings and all that? This is just what you have said, America putting in steps in order to, curb this occurrence subsequently in the country. And now looking at it, I and Topo were talking when we started this show about the way the administration, the federal government is responding to all these killings, especially the one recently in Kwara. The president did not pay visits there. I doubt if the NSA also was there. Not even the governor of that state.
He went somewhere else.
What has he said? He is currently in Abuja regarding the local government elections there, and I think he's a chair there and mobilizing on how to carry out elections. What do you have to say about the reaction of the administration as regards these killings? People are dying, even if it's just a person who dies. At least there should be, all we just hear is we condemn the attack when maybe they are granted interview. All they say is we condemn the attack, we condemn the attack. But why is it that the Nigerian government are looking as if there's nothing, they are unconcerned, in quote? Is that the system? Is that the situation we are into? What do you say to that?
Have you heard about this APC guy from Ebonyi State, Kenetezi, who was calling for a 16-year tenure for the president? Have you heard about that one? Did you hear about the guy in Sokoto that is saying that they are putting out 1 billion for people to hit for Ramadan? In Osun State here, I have had some challenges with some political leaders personally. Somebody is put in charge of something. They're not doing it. You visit them several in their offices, they're not there. Then you go to the field, gather information, do some vox populi, write reports, submit to them. Then they say that the report you gave is fake. Then you tell them that, Oga, that thing you said is fake. There's a report in your office around it. He didn't even know. You understand? The same guy now said he got something from the government, he got an approval from the governor to do something for people with disabilities, and they have started working. They wasted time for months. That thing dragged for more than half of a year. Then he started working. We were happy. It's okay, let's see how, just say, let's give it time. So that if we give it some time, we can see the quality of work that has been done, then we can now go to the municipal partner and say thank you to them, go to the radio and say thank you to the government for listening to us. They abandoned the job. The guy has done some communication materials, now he wants to run for Senate. Do you understand that? So somebody's telling you that he doesn't care about you. But because we have been very docile, we have not been smart enough. We are putting some of the wrong hands, some of the worst minds in leadership for us. So they don't really care if somebody loses their life. They don't really care whatever happens to us on the street. You know, it was actually very painful. The kind of things that we see, people have died. The governor walks away. What's his business where he went to? It seems like he doesn't even know what his job description is. And that's the kind of person we have in leadership. The one is saying is going to make sure that the president wins a particular amount of people from it. Is that his job? You understand? So when you're talking about sympathy, a lot of our political leaders do not have it. When we talk of empathy, a lot of our political leaders do not have it. And this is a challenge. However, because they have messed up the space for us, a lot of young people are running away. Because the situation is a balance between reward and the hard work you've done. So, you know, there was this voice guy that was talking some time ago, and I said that, you know, the best investment bankers are Nigerians, the best surgeons are Nigerians, the best this are Nigerians, the best that are Nigerians. But you find them typically not in Nigeria because Nigeria does not reward them. You understand the pain. So when that now happens, we have had a lot of people move out of the space. Not everybody can run away anyways. Then those of us that are now home are now suffering under the leadership that we have. So when it comes to sympathy, most of our leaders do not have it. When it comes to empathy, most of our leaders do not have it. And that's one of the problems that we need to correct. We need to start looking at how we talk to people, even from the religious houses, from our various schools, from organizations. Do you know? I was talking on radio just this morning. I was explaining that from our own end, from our organizations, civil society organizations, we did a job. One of the development did something, and we now saw some things around young people. We looked at the ages of 18, between the ages of 18 and 26. And we found out that the average young person between the ages of 18 and 26 does not have a voter's card. In fact, the school that we went to, less than 7% of them had a voter's card. And we now asked questions. Why are you not having voter's card? They said, what's the point? They had various reasons, from the lack of trust in the system of Nigeria, from the fact that their parents actually protecting them from getting hurt by the situations in Nigeria. They are complaining about thuggery. They are complaining about security issues. They are complaining about the fact that even if we vote, will the vote count? Even if we do this, if we do that, what is the point? What are we going to get? What's the benefit? What are the dividends of democracy that we've had? You go to schools, you go to other countries, and you're seeing a lot of, I know that a lot of our people too on the street are not doing very fine, you know. Our streets are extremely dirty. But go to schools, you have to pay. And when you go to some countries now, from basic education to primary to secondary is free. You understand? Here it's not free. People don't have the Child Rights Act. They're supposed to have free education, even in these states. We don't have it.
Well, for want of time, Mr. Olatubosun, lastly from my end here, you know, I was talking about the angle of the American doing something even in Nigeria, and the government looking like they are nonchalant. If you have the ears of the federal government right now and state government, what would you say they should do differently? And what will you tell Nigerians as well to do differently?
Thank you very much. If I had the ears of the presidency right now, the Senate, the House of Rep, I'll tell them that they need to start considering the needs of the Nigerian. Now, look at basic needs: food, clothing, shelter. You know, we are looking now, a lot of our houses, somebody who collects 70,000 as basic salary has to pay 400,000, 600,000 for rent in a year. How does he raise it? Transportation is a problem. Taking the vehicle from Oshobo here to Abuja costs you around 30,000. You understand? So the things you can call basic. Now, the distance from Lagos to Abuja is just around 609 kilometers. If you're doing 100 kilometers per hour, it should take you about 7 hours. On that route, you will do 12 hours. And where are the dividends of the democracy that we're talking about? So they need to start focusing on delivering the needs of the people. We need good roads. We need water. You know that even the tax that we're talking about, Nigeria is not supposed to be collecting tax. Because one, the average man provides power by himself. Do you hear about the I better pass my neighbor generator?
Well, maybe not, because they
he has to get a well or sink a borehole, get water by himself. Then he has to be his own security. They will get Alsatian dogs, get security men and all that. Sometimes security men get killed. You understand? So what are the essences? What are the essences of paying tax? So these are things that we need to look at. Then the last thing I want to say on that lane is the fact that the amount of money that we have put into leadership is too much. An average senator in Nigeria will be richer than the president of America if it's by the income that they get in politics. So why would anybody want to now go to do any legitimate work when they know that the best source of money, the biggest source of money you have is politics? So people will kill to get there. So that is something, and I always say that the person that wants to actually be serious with leadership in Nigeria, one of the first sets of things they will do is to bring down the cost of governance. I know the quality of people that we have there now, we don't want that to happen. Now to the people, we have been too docile. A lot of us don't want to talk. Somebody was talking to me this morning around this, and I'm like, see, a lot of people are scared. Nobody wants to be locked up. Nobody wants to be killed. Everybody is scared. And there's this thing they call the freedom of speech. I don't know if we still have it. And like Idi Amin used to say, the freedom of speech, I know. Freedom after speech, I do not guarantee. And that is where the fear comes in. But then the people need to speak out more. I know organizations who by policy do not do protest. And they'll tell you that the word protest does not even show up in our constitution, which is true. But they tell you freedom of association and all that, so the lawyers know how to bring all this together. But basically, the same organizations that say by policy they don't do protest, they are protesting now. And the people need to now speak out. Let the security agents know that you're going out for this particular protest peaceful. Get your placard, speak out, write materials, write documents. The young people are losing interest. They want to go. Those of them that are not going to even know anything about the situation. So the people also need to start speaking out. And when people are speaking, join them to speak if what they're saying actually makes a meaning to you. Thank you very much.
All right. Just before we go, we're totally almost out of time, but we're approaching election year. Election here in Osun first, and then the general elections in 2027. Insecurity is still very much, out there. And we're having lots of issues around reform at this time. That's been suspended. The harmonization with the Senate and House of Reps has been suspended. There are lobbyings going on. How do you see this? There has been protests too around this,
There will be one today.
There is one as, already mobilizing at the National Assembly, right? But it has been suspended for a while. How do you see this play out? I mean, people are agitating for that real-time clause to be included in whatever it is, whatever the harmonization will be, whether for the Senate or, when the harmonization will eventually come, the people are saying that clause must still be there. So if it happens that the harmonization follows through and there is no real-time clause in that, how do you expect, what are those things you see or envisage that will happen, especially in the build-up to the elections first?
Thank you very much. Basically, August now will be in elections, and the basic thing is that if our leaders agree to this harmonization and the real-time uploading of
results,
and the fact that some experts have said that even the beavers does not even need the network to actually function. It simply means that as it is being counted in the presence of the party representatives and the polling unit officers and all that and every other person there, we have this thing written out, read out, everybody sees it, upload it immediately. It simply means that there is no blind spot. And if that actually plays out, there will not be any need for thuggery, which means that people will feel more safe. The police will tell you that they don't carry guns and all those for elections. You understand? They will not even need to use anything. It simply means that we have a better society, a calmer society, a safer society. And that is the reason I feel that they should let it actually happen. And if it actually plays out in August now for, by those of us that are off-cycle elections, if we have that, and we can see maybe there's an error here that we can actually correct. INEC can do this and all that. And to be fair to the INEC rec in Osun State, the guy has worked extensively. He sees this problem, he fixes it, and he moves with his leaders. So everybody is up and doing it per time. So if they see an error, they fix it. They see this error, they fix it. By the time we are having the general elections, and that clause is actually taken care of, what happens is that there'll be less thuggery, there'll be less hurt. People might not even have any debt at all. It means that society will now trust the system more, which means that people can now say that I voted and my vote actually counted. It means that when they now say, okay, we are going to court, it will make a lot of sense to a lot of people that we know. Imagine that when somebody kills, we know that okay, when you murder somebody, this is the outcome if you're found guilty, and they know that it will actually play out. It will bring more trust to the people, and Nigeria becomes a better place.
All right, dear viewer, it's been quite a conversation. This is Morning Spring, the second installment for the week, and we just had that conversation with our public affairs analyst, Mr. Olatubosun. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, to make a comeback for the midweek installment of Morning Spring for tomorrow. And until then, remember to stay on the good side of the law. My name is Timitope Ajijola Oluola.
All right, and very many thanks for being a part of the show today. We'll do this again tomorrow, the midweek installment of Morning Spring and Western Spring Television. My name is Olufemi. I'll see you all tomorrow.